In this lecture, we are going to continue to build the functionality of the movie details. As you can see, when we navigate to the movie details view model, we also send the selected movie property. So let's go to the movie details view model and override initial async in order to store this parameter into a new property. So I'm going to define this new property. Let's just call it movie data, and this property movie data is going to be populated with the parameter, and let's just cast the object into movie data. Okay, one quick look at the movie data. As you can see, we currently have just title and image URL in this class. What I would like to do is to pass some additional information. This initial information will come from the base movie information. So I would also like to pass the year in order to display year on the view, and also this IMDb ID. This property is used in order to query additional information about the movie. So let's just first add these two properties to the movie data. And we can extend this constructor in order to receive these two new properties. So we will receive year and also IMDb ID. Let's just make it uppercase. So year is equal to year, and IMDb ID is equal to IMDb ID. And we need to slightly change how we initialize our movie data. So we need to pass year and we need to pass IMDb ID. Let's go over to the OMDB API website to see how to use IMDb ID to fetch the additional information about the movie. As you can see, if we have some IMDb ID, we can pass that to the query that has this I parameter, and we can select the plot size, so it can be full or short. And if we select the response in JSON, we will get the following JSON. So in this window, I have queried the same endpoint, and like we did before, let's navigate to the JSON utils this time, because the site we have previously used has died meanwhile. So if we enter the JSON text here and submit that, we will get the following C# classes. I can just copy and paste this and go back to the Visual Studio, and I can copy that to the models.cs. And let's rename this to full movie information. Okay, this file becomes a little bit messy, so what I'm going to do is to split all these classes into separate files in order to have better overview of our models. So let me just quickly do that. Okay, let's now go to the movie details view model and let's try to fetch the full movie information class. For a start, I need two new properties. So one is network service, the other one is navigation service. So in the next lecture, we are going to navigate back to the main view model. Let me just quickly create constructor for this, two new properties. So generate constructor, and let's say we want to generate for navigation service and network service, and click OK. So now in our initialize async method, we want to call the network service get async, and we want to get full movie information. So we are missing async, and we don't need this anymore. But what we need is a URL to the full movie information. We are going to get that URL same as before, so through AP constants, but in AP constants we need a new method to return this movie based on IMDb ID. So let me just create new method, public static string get movie by ID. And we are going to pass the IMDb ID. Let me just copy this URL and I'm going to paste that here. So instead of hard-coded ID, I'm going to use IMDb ID. Okay, let's go back to the movie details view model, and now we can call AP constants get movie by ID, and our ID we can get that from moviedata.imdb. We also need to store somewhere this information we get, and for that I'm going to create a new property called movie information and store this data we get from get async into movie information. So now we have all the information we want to display in our movie details view, and what we need to do is to actually implement the UI part.